So yesterday, Neuralink tweeted, "We're excited to share that we have received the FDA's approval to launch our first in-human clinical study. This is the result of incredible work, blah, blah, blah. We get it. Recruitment is not yet open for our clinical trial. We'll announce more information on this soon." That's right. We are getting very close to the point where they're going to ask humans to submit to Neuralink implants. Now, for the time being, it is read only. And that's still okay. Basically, what they can do, what I was reading is that there's very thin, like copper wires or whatever that they can lay on like the nerves and then start to absorb information and then decode. And I think they were able to track like vital signs of pigs or something. I don't know that they've done any kind of real Neuralink remote control of a person. However, organic remote control already exists. They've done this in cockroaches, I believe. In rats, what they do with mammals is they can put in an implant which interferes with equilibrium. And so they make the animal feel like it's falling over and then it has to run in that direction. So if you start leaning forward, your body reacts and you try to right yourself up. It's called balance. They can manipulate that so you'll feel like you're falling backwards and try and start walking forward to try and counteract it because it's almost painful. So like try and resist, you're like, it's almost like torture.
They vertigo.
So they can do this. They can do that now. With Neuralink, the scary thing is going to be once they get to the point where they can write to your brain. I don't know how far off that is. It may be very, very far away.
So like putting thoughts in your
Yes.
brain.
Yeah.
Who is signing up for these studies?
It doesn't have to be thoughts. All it has to be is just a little bit of serotonin, a little bit of dopamine.
But they can do that now. That you don't need Neuralink.
Yeah, with phones and stuff. But when
No. I mean, like they can put an implant in your brain. You don't need Neuralink to connect and read data from your brain. We've done it with rats a long time ago. They did that experiment where the rat could press a button and get a dopamine hit, and so it's just matching the button. Well, I was talking to the guy from White Coat Waste Project earlier. Man, the stuff they do with animals is scary. I don't know if you guys might not want to watch that Culture War episode because it's like talking about the horrible things they do to animals. But if you don't like Fauci, you probably should watch it because it'll make you not like him more. They talk about how puppies. I don't even want to say it, man, because people are going to get mad. But let me just tell you, the psychotic things they do for no reason, it's just like there's evil people.
Just to see.
It's like mad scientists.
I'm gonna say it because we've covered it before, and I'm pissed off. They take beagles, and this is funding under Fauci, and they would put a net around a part of the beagle and then put starved sandflies in it.
Yep.
So the flies would eat the dog alive. And it's like, why? I want to see what happened. There was one of the stories that we talked about was they put hamsters on steroids and then made them fight. And I hear that and I start laughing. And I'm like, you're kidding. Like they spent $1 million to put hamsters on steroids and make them fight. I'm busting out laughing. And then I watched the video and I got really angry.
Yeah.
Because like you're imagining hamsters and they're like buffing them up, and then you watch the video and it's really grotesque.
What is their explanation for why they think that is necessary or what they're studying?
Some of it does make sense. Some of it is like we are testing a new methodology for treating wounds and something, and we're like, okay, we get it. But the problem is so much of this stuff is literally just like, please don't fire me. I need a grant. Yeah. And so, and the government is funding this stuff. I don't want to go off on that tangent. When it comes to the issue of Neuralink, my point is simply that we've done the studies on animals where we can control their brains. I brought it up because he told me that they did this thing where they hooked up IVs to, I think, monkeys that fed them nicotine. And then they could press a button to get a nicotine hit. And it's just like, man, the stuff they can do to people, the stuff they've learned. When it comes to Neuralink, the moment they can write things into your brain, they can then say to you, Taylor, why are you so hell-bent on being an activist? You know, wouldn't you rather just go into your own universe where you are X Games gold medalist? Here, just plug in. Check this out. Try it one time. You plug in, and then all of a sudden, you're in this universe where they can simulate feelings and people, and it's AI generated. And right when they plug you in, they walk up to you and say, "You just won gold at the X Games Street, Taylor. What do you have to say to all of your fans?" And you're there, and you can feel it like you're really there. So many people are going to say, "I give up. Give me that."
See, I feel like I'd turn that down. I like the realness of this.
Okay,
wait. I'll one up you.
But it would feel real.
You are on vacation, or let's just say one day, you're sleeping, and you wake up, everything's seemingly normal. And then you check your phone and you get an email and it's like, hey, we're inviting you to the X Games to compete. And you're like, whoa, really? And then they're like, yeah, can you fly out? And you're like, yes. And so you go about your life like normal and you fly out and then you win. And then what you don't realize is
Tim's making me sound like a way better skateboarder than I am right now.
What you don't realize is that,
or maybe an AI I am.
Because you were disruptive to the ESG machine, while you were sleeping, they plugged you in. And you never knew.
I wish this was just a horror movie plot and not a potential reality.
Well, VR is
and then here's the best part. When people are like, whatever happened to Taylor? They'll be like, oh, she went to Metaverse. Yeah, she totally bought.
She's gone.
No, they'll be like, no, she's right here. Like, you want to see what she's up to? Like, she didn't go anywhere.
She's like just chilling in a pod.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to be like, here, she signed off on joining Neuralink and she's living out her dreams of being the best skater in the world.
Guys,
and people are going to be like, wow, I can't believe she would choose that.
If anyone ever says I went into Metaverse, it's a lie. I did not consent.
So this is changing the subject a little bit, but I think James Lindsay is listening tonight because he just tweeted something about the Wisconsin LGBT Chamber of Commerce. This is from 2016. Harley Davidson is the newest platinum founding member of the LGBT Chamber. So I mean, it's, like I said, it's a little old, but we were talking about ESG and Harley Davidson. Well, there's your answer.
Yeah. So if you ride Harley Davidsons, you are like, if you're a man who enjoys engaging in adult relations with other men, Harley Davidson's the brand for you. It's not supposed to be funny. You don't gotta laugh. I mean, seriously, I'm like, that's the brand message they're creating, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, I don't know. I got an electric motorcycle. It's fun. It's too dangerous though, and that's why I've never used it.
It's fast.
Yeah, it's insanely fast, and it makes no sound. Yeah, and so it's just like, I don't know about all that. Yeah, you're gonna.
I'm still laughing about what you said before the show.
What?
I don't want to steal it, but about how this is going to be great for like the Judas Priest lovers. Oh my gosh. Judas Priest fan base.
Not really.
I like Judas Priest. I'm not hating.
Look, I'm one of the biggest Judas Priest fans there is, so I'm not judging at all. But Rob's got that look.
Yeah, he's like
he's also got that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
it's a cool band.
They're one of the greatest heavy metal bands of all time.
You're into like gay motorcycle stuff?
Well, you don't have to be gay to like Judas Priest.
Of course not. That was before everything was all political and pick a side and so all or nothing, everything.
But the problem is, I think, like, what didn't Maynard? He was in drag. Is that who it was?
Maynard did that in Florida. Yeah.
They're doing this because they're like, haha, these bigots don't like drag. And it's like, dude, we don't care. We don't want the kids there.
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you want to do drag, I don't care what you do. Like, have fun.
I don't think anyone would have cared if Target would have put out some like gay flag T-shirts. It was when they started making the baby onesies and the tux swimsuits.
No, I think the Pride stuff would have sparked a negative reaction anyway.
Yeah, because I don't think it would have been as extreme.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. It's the tucking onesies, swimsuits.
Well, yeah, like, that's a bit extreme.
But the issue is that a guy has got a man and woman, in their early 30s, have a couple kids, they're young kids. They walk in to go grocery shopping. They see this stuff and they immediately, whoa, turn the kids around and they're like, I'm not ready to explain to my 6-year-old kid what this stuff means.
Totally.
When my son says, what does gay mean? He's like, I got to talk about the birds and the bees now. Like, they're not old enough for this stuff. Mm-hmm. We're not putting stuff where it's like, there may be things. This is what they argue. Like, there's all this straight propaganda and straight. It's like, dude, a man and a woman together in an ad is not overtly sexual. Mm-hmm. Saying this is a heterosexual couple, above it flashing lights with a flag. Now the kid's going to ask, what does that mean? The parents might be like, hey, I don't want to have to explain. Like, this is not appropriate for kids. I think no matter how they would have done it, it would have sparked. Now, if it was just a rainbow flag or something, I don't think the kid would have said anything. Mm-hmm. Nobody would have cared. If they put gay pride and stuff like that and LGBT, then I think families would have been like, this is not what I want my kids to be around. They're not ready for this. These parents may not even be against it. They may just be like, my kid's too young.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shop there.
I think parents should be able to explain that stuff on their own timing, and kids should be able to have their innocence maintained. They don't need to know everything all at once.
That is totally...
I don't completely agree with it.
It's totally against the law.
What do you mean?
So we there's that video people talk about where those kids are interviewed during like World War II or something, and these like 10-year-old kids sound like they're 40-year-old adults.
Yeah.
When
I
they're
saw that.
because kids didn't used to get sheltered so heavily from reality. I do think it's fair to be like, my child is not old enough to learn about sex ed and the birds and the bees. When it comes to innocence and all that stuff, I'm like, dude, I'm not saying the kids should be in the mines. They do yearn for them.
They yearn
Minecraft
for
is
them.
proof.
They yearn.
But kids
children
should
yearn for
have
the mines.
jobs. Children should be working. And I will say that with absolute vigor and passion, because the left will be like, liberals say like, they want kids working.
right.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I want 7-year-olds in mom and pop's candy shop, picking up the groceries, filling out paperwork, and learning from their parents what it is to have a job and to earn and to engage in commerce. So when people talk about innocence, I'm like, dude, children should be around when parents are talking about some politics.
I guess I mean the sexual stuff.
Right, that I get. That's why I said I somewhat disagree. Like,
Yeah.
when it comes to the birds and the bees, if you're talking about LGBT stuff and you're like, no, my kid's not old enough for this, totally get it. But if we're talking about Biden, Democrats, war, faith, all that stuff, children should be hearing what the parents think about the current state of affairs. And kids should be working.
Yes, absolutely. The children do yearn for the mines. That is absolutely true. And there's nothing wrong with like what you're talking about, like kids that are working with their families. Like, I find it silly to think that it's so objectionable to keep kids with their families working, and it's preferable to send them to other people to raise your children. That is antithetical to essentially how people have raised families and societies have grown for basically the whole of humanity until the past, 150, 200 years since the Industrial Revolution.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.